All right, folks, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do another analysis of Love is Blind by Dr. Kirk Honda. Though I should warn you, I'm slightly hungover and I just finished half a bottle of McEwen's Champion, so I'm a wee bit drunk as well. But anyway, that should just make it all the more interesting, I suppose. Let's get into it here. Let's turn up the volume so that you can hear what he's saying.
Love is Blind. Let's see what happens.
I don't have a physical relationship with them. I want you to trust me.
You do though. You fucking do. You told me you fucked her, and the fact that you're
Look at the bewilderment on Jimmy's face. Like I say, I'm a wee bit drunk, but like the way he's pursing his lip, I'm like, really? I told you this in confidence. You'll find this out, by the way, in a few seconds.
saying you're unwilling. No, I don't give a fuck.
Oh, this is very aggressive behavior, by the way, on Chelsea's end.
I know you fucked her, and you told me that.
Because I want you to trust me.
And I do.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want you to trust me. He, like Donovan Sharp says, discovery trumps disclosure. Never tell anyone any more than you have to, especially a narcissist. Never tell narcissists anything more than you have to, because they will flip it around on you. They will use it against you. They'll turn it 180, turn it on its head, and hold it over your head like the sword of Damocles. Don't do that. Bad idea.
Let's do it for
Look at Dr. Kirk cringing almost.
information. It's irrelevant because
Listen, when it comes to sex, it's never irrelevant when you're talking to women. Sex is always relevant, believe me.
we don't even have it as established that the friends who are women, did he have sex with all of them or just one?
Did he have sex with all of them? I hope so.
One of them. Anyway, were even there last night. And even if they were, and even if he had been texting his friends who include some of these past partners or something, it's a conversation. It looks like they've had, in fact, it kind of looks like they had a conversation off camera.
Yeah.
And
Had a conversation off camera. Don't fucking bring this up on camera, was the conversation. I'm going to tell you, we're going to meet a couple of my friends today, my girlfriends, who are not girlfriends, but friends who are girls, if you know what I mean. I had a previous relationship with one of them, or a one-night stand, probably the latter. I would appreciate it if you don't bring this up on camera, but being a narcissist, lack of boundary recognition, sense of entitlement, things like that, she does bring it up on camera to score points and, most importantly, to assert control. You cannot confide in narcissists. They will betray you. They will, because nothing is more important to them than control. You don't tell narcissists your secrets. In fact, preferably, you don't tell narcissists anything. But anyway.
Either said, let's not talk about that in front of, I suppose one reason why you wouldn't talk about it in front of the camera is that you don't want to out somebody else, right? That the woman might.
And again, Dr. Kirk, again, showing his empath credentials, putting himself in the emotional position of a stranger, in this case, the woman or women, potentially plural. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. But, again, he's able to put himself in the headspace of complete strangers. Normals can't do that. Narcissists absolutely cannot do that. But empaths can put themselves in the emotional frame, of people they don't even know. Because he's thinking of the woman or women that Jimmy slept with being outed on national TV. And he's right about this. I mean, Dr. Kirk is actually a good person. He's a decent human being. He just doesn't have the full picture is all.
Might not want that to be on international television.
All empaths are decent human beings, deep down.
For whatever reason, but
until narcissists sink their claws in and turn them into monsters, turn them into reflections. The danger with empaths, and I see this a lot in the modern world, by the way, I see people who I think are either potential empaths or are empaths being corrupted by narcissists. The trouble with the dynamic between narcissists and empaths is that empaths often mirror narcissists while they're in their presence or while they're under their influence. But if you manage to pull them away, they become decent again. It's like they reflect them. It's hard to describe, but that's what happens when you get a narcissist and an empath. Particular types, especially, is the empath reflects the narcissist like a mirror. But if you manage to get them away from the narcissist, they can snap out of it. But you have to pull them away. And as a normal, you see it a lot. You see it an awful lot, because I cannot be corrupted by a narcissist as a normal. Or maybe I could, but it would be very, very difficult to corrupt me because I would see through it because, normals are emotionally more resilient than empaths. They're not. The thing with empaths is that they tend to be codependent, especially certain times. But all empaths to a degree are codependent. They really do need other people to latch onto to give them a sense of self, of self-worth, of identity, of self-respect. The thing that's really lacking with this just occurs to me. The thing that's really lacking and that draws empaths and narcissists to each other is the fundamental lack of a self. The empath doesn't have a self because they're so concerned with everybody else, and the narcissist doesn't have a self because they're taken over by the creature. So that is what creates that symbiotic toxic cycle.
Anyway, so, because the way the internet works, she might forever be known as Jimmy's F buddy. Yeah. So,
yeah, and that came up in the reunion, by the way, that this friend of Jimmy's is still pissed about this. Well, yeah, I mean, women care very much about their reputation because women in general are social and communal creatures, whereas men tend to be more individualistic. Women tend to be more cluster orientated. They tend to be more concerned with the group and with the community in general. This is just the way they think, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's fine, but you do have to realize that distinction that men tend to care more on the individual level and tend to think more on the individual level, and women are more about the group and the collective. But that's all part of our evolution, it makes perfect sense.
So he told her, right? She didn't find this out. He volunteered this, which demonstrates trust.
Yeah, I bet you're dealing with a narcissist, so she's going to hold it over your head anyway. Because anything the narcissist can use and latch onto to assert control, they absolutely will.
Worthiness. He didn't have to. He could have. I think a lot of people would actually.
Yeah, this is where Dr. Kirk falls short, not realizing what he's dealing with. Because if he knew what a narcissist is, and if he knew what a narcissist does and how they operate, this is very straightforward. This is what they do. If you give them any information at all, they will find out a way to hold it over your head. And they will never let go of it, by the way. They will absolutely use it against you until the day you die. Believe me. They will never, ever, ever let it go. Never. And I think Jimmy's, in this conversation, going to realize it.
Say, you don't have to tell.
Narcissists don't let things go. Believe me.
Chelsea about that. Or you could wait to tell Chelsea about that. It sounds like from what we're hearing that he said, let's meet up with my friends who happen to be women and da-da-da-da. And by the way, I just want to tell you that I used to date one of them, or we got together one time when we got drunk or whatever. Yeah. Now in some cultural circles, that is a huge no-no.
Is it? Which cultural circles is that? No. That happens all the time. People get drunk and get laid, and then they feel a bit awkward about it the next morning, but they get on with their lives. That happens all the time. It's never happened with me. I never had a one-night stand, but I do recognize that it happens.
It's not a huge no-no in my circle. I'll tell you.
See, there's even Dr. Kirk saying, "Oh, it's not a huge. You're consenting adults. You got pissed, had a wee shag, and then in the morning, you just went and had breakfast and got on with your lives." But You have to realize the neuroticism of the narcissist. They really are terribly neurotic creatures. Chelsea is really that because she's lower end narcissist. She's unsophisticated. She's unable to think ahead. Now, Chelsea will never be able to plan or think ahead. Never put her in charge of anything ever. It's all about the moment right now. She's very unsophisticated. Level of narcissist.
We're all adults, and we all know that you can have sex with someone and maybe even have a
Gotta go there again. I love that sound effect.
5-year-long romantic sexual relationship with that person, break up, be friends with that person, and have that person be.
You can never be friends with someone you've had sex with. One is always chasing the other. Always, I guarantee you. And it's usually the man chasing the woman because women are the gatekeepers to sex, whereas men are the gatekeepers to relationships. This is what I've learned over the years. And when it comes to sex, women are the ones in charge. Unless, of course, you're gay. I've noticed a disproportionate amount of people I know are gay. And that's nothing against gay people because actually, tomorrow night I'm going out having a drink with a gay friend of mine, even though I'm straight, because he offers more clarity and more insight and more wisdom than anyone else I know. But you do have to kind of look at this pattern of people who are gay. I mean, it has to be at least half the people I work with are gay. It's probably more like 3/4 actually. I don't know. There's something in that. It's like, because I got nothing against gay people. Like I say, I'm not gay myself. I don't fancy men. But from an outsider looking in perspective, like you're standing outside the window, looking in, you're thinking, how come so many people are so distrustful of the opposite sex? That is something worth thinking about and worth, quite frankly, worrying about. I know loads of gay people, and they're wonderful people. In fact, oftentimes the people I know who are gay are preferable to the ones who are straight. Nicer personalities, just as long as they know that, I don't swing that way personally. Men and women these days, they don't like each other. They don't trust each other. They don't get along. But there you go.
Of no threat to your current relationship or future relationship. I'm going to take a guess and say that there's some of you that disagree with that, or that the rest of the world, majority of the rest of the world would disagree with that. But empirically, scientifically, experientially, it's true. Now, can some people have a problem with that? Can some people have a hard time with managing their temptation or something? Yeah. But
well, that's called hedonism.
Inherently.
Yeah, especially if you live in cities. One thing I would say is if you live in a city, get the fuck out of the cities. The cities are death traps in every sense of the word, emotionally, literally, intellectually. I'm very glad of the fact that I don't live in a city. Cities destroy the soul. They really do. There's nothing good about living in a city. It will burden you. It will destroy you. It will corrupt you. Cities are unnatural. Cities, I think, are antithetical to the nature of human beings. We are designed to live in nature, in villages, the small townships. Cities are just the worst. I hate cities. I hate them. They're just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. They're terrible for your mental health. They're terrible for your physical health. They're terrible for your emotional well-being. If you can possibly get the fuck out of whatever city you're in, live in a small country town or village.
It's not a given that a former partner is a threat. To me, if I met someone that was still friends with a number of their exes, I would consider that to be a green flag. I wouldn't.
Well, I wouldn't, because I know human nature quite well. I would not consider that a green flag. I would consider that a major red flag. No, If your ex is with someone, it's for a reason. That relationship didn't work out for a reason. But again, Dr. Kirk showing himself to be an empath. I mean, and it's overwhelmingly obvious to me at this point that he's an empath. Because normals do not have that level of trust in people because, quite frankly, they have more common sense than that. People are always fucking, people are always fucking. And if they're not fucking you, they're fucking someone, and if they're friends with their ex, there's a very good chance they're fucking their ex, especially if you piss them off or fall out with them. They're going to go right back to the ex. Now, I know human nature very, very well. Humans are weak. Humans are hypocritical. Humans are very codependent on each other, men and women, quite frankly. But no, you cannot have a serious relationship with someone who is good friends with their ex, because if they're good friends with their ex, they're fucking their ex. It's as simple as that.
Know what it meant, but
yeah, you just see if I'm wrong. Come back to me in 2 weeks. Tell me I'm wrong. I put money on it. Come back to me in 2 weeks, and you tell me if I'm wrong or not. Ask them to unlock their phone and give it to you right now if you doubt it. Go ahead. I'll wait. Say to your girlfriend or boyfriend, that ex that you've been texting and FaceTiming and all this that you met up with for a coffee last week? Unlock your phone and hand it to me right now. Let me know the results.
in my world, that's a good sign, because I'll give you an example. Chelsea probably does not have good relationships with any of her exes. Now, maybe she.
You think so? You think so? Yeah, I bet she's got very toxic relationships with all of her exes, because she has toxic relationships with everybody as a narcissist. But I bet she's fucking them now.
She does, but there's a chance that she doesn't. And given her pattern with Jimmy, we can see why that would happen. Not only because she would alienate someone who wouldn't want to be friends with her moving forward, but also she would invent things that happened that didn't happen. Which,
yeah, that's the delusion and paranoia of a narcissist. They always make up shit that never happened in their heads, because they're so neurotically in their heads all the time. It's the distortion field of the narcissist. Yeah, I mean, you will see this with Chelsea. You'll see this with all narcissists. They make up a lot of shit in their heads that never happened, except maybe for graders and ultras. But lower cognitive narcissists, yeah, this is a big problem. They do invent things in their minds that didn't happen, and when you're dealing with one of them, and they're this, you did this, and you did that, and I'm like, no, I didn't. But in their heads, because like I said before, narcissists do not live in reality. Narcissists live in their reality. Big difference.
which I don't know. I wish they would just tell us the landscape. Were the friends there? It doesn't matter if the friends were there last night. She's implying that they are, or she is just
implying nothing. This level of narcissist never implies anything. They just outright fucking state it. There's no subtlety to a narcissist like Chelsea. None whatsoever. They're outright, they're not implying anything. They're outright saying it.
completely jumped ship, and she's just on a completely other topic that has nothing to do with him going to
Again, the distortion field of the narcissist. You would be aware of this if you paid attention to HG Tudor and listened to his videos. But anyway,
a birthday party last night for an hour. He was gone for an hour. He was probably at the party for 10 minutes, half an hour. But anyway, so we're learning that he did have sex with one of them. Okay.
I do trust you, but I'm uncomfortable with it.
I told you off camera that
I know, but then
I don't.
again, Jimmy, as a normal, doesn't understand what he is dealing with here. I told you this off camera. That's perfectly believable, actually. I don't think Jimmy ever lies throughout any of this. I think he's always told the complete truth. He did tell her off camera, but like I said, discovery trumps disclosure. Worth remembering that. But he told this to Chelsea, not realizing what she is as a narcissist. And narcissists will break confidentiality. They don't recognize personal boundaries. They will do whatever it takes to assert control over you. And if that means breaking your trust, breaking your word, breaking your secrets, and using that as a weapon against you, they will do it, because fundamentally, remember what narcissism is. It's a self defense mechanism used to control other people. They are victims of abuse who turn into abusers. Realize what you're dealing with. Understand what you are dealing with. Do not ever tell narcissists any more than you have to. But first of all, learn to recognize them so that you don't fall into that trap in the first place, I would suggest.
I want to talk.
Okay, so sounds like I was right about that, but that was good that she said that. Actually, I did say I was okay with it, but I'm uncomfortable. So she's differentiating a little bit. Let's rewind.
No, you fucked her.
No, Dr. Kirk. No, this is where, oh my God, you fall so short. Oh, no. No, 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 no. That is an L. No. He doesn't know what he's dealing with. I hate to say it because, like I say, Dr. Kirk is fundamentally a good person. He is trying to help people. He has genuine emotional empathy. He is genuinely trying to help people as best as he can. But as an empath, he just doesn't have the understanding that a normal would. He gives the narcissist too much of the benefit of the doubt because he doesn't recognize them for the extremely toxic, extremely dangerous people that they are. Narcissists are broken people. They are broken fundamentally in the head, in the psyche, in the subconscious. If you don't realize that about them, you're going to fall into the trap every time. You have to understand, recognize what it is that you are dealing with, and he doesn't. This is why he gives terrible advice. And I hate to say that because he is a decent human being. He is absolutely a very good person. But he gives absolutely fucking terrible advice because he does not understand. And it's so frustrating. So frustrating to watch good people, empaths like Dr. Kirk, give piss poor advice because they just don't know. Oh man, this bothers the fuck out of me. It really does.
And you told me that.
Because I want you to trust me.
And I do trust you, but
No, she doesn't. No. Narcissists, especially this level of narcissist, lower cognitive level narcissist. No, they don't trust people. This is all assertion of control, obviously.
I'm uncomfortable with it.
Okay, that is
Look at the look on Jimmy's face. Like, God, I've tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. I've been honest. I've told you the truth. I've, made you aware because, God bless them. Normals, they just want to get along with people. They just want to, have decent, healthy relationships with people. But you can't with a narcissist. That's what you have to realize. You cannot because of the creature, because of the self-defense status that they're always on this neurotic, paranoid setting. This, you can never switch that off. They're always on a war path. They're always looking to assert control and abuse and manipulate. They cannot help it because they're victims of trauma who become perpetrators of abuse and turn you into a victim and traumatize you. That is what they are. That is what they do. By the way, check out Dr. That's a great thumbnail, though.
first moment I've seen in this fight when I'm like, okay, we might be cresting the hill.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not cresting the hill. You're falling off the fucking cliff because you're dealing with a narcissist.
Because that was rational. That was differentiate. Uncomfortable is a much more understandable word than you don't give a shit about this relationship and you're a liar. I'm uncomfortable with it.
No, she's just no. You're absolutely wrong, Dr. Kirk. You're absolutely fucking wrong. You don't understand. You don't get it. No, it's just another way of attempting to assert control. That's it. If one method doesn't work, they're going to switch to the other. If emotional blackmail doesn't work, they're going to switch to compassion. But in the end, in the end, it's all manipulation, all of it.
Seeing from her, of course, she's uncomfortable with it. I 100% imagine that she is uncomfortable with it. Not everyone in her shoes would be uncomfortable with it, but
It's just empaths who don't know what narcissists are. That's why they fall for them all the time. They just think that they're empaths. Look at narcissists as just people who are broken, which is true, they are. But where they fall really, really down is they don't recognize that they can't be fixed. Like normals. Normals, if they have emotional issues or if they have trauma or unresolved, whatever, they can be fixed. They can be solved. But narcissists cannot. That's the main differentiation you have to make. You have to be able to recognize, especially if you're an empath, the difference between a normal and a narcissist, because it's a huge difference. You're talking the Gulf of the Grand Canyon difference. You're talking the depth of the Valley Marineris up in Mars difference. There's a huge difference between a normal and a narcissist. Normals can be fixed. Narcissists cannot, because it's hermetically sealed in their subconscious. They cannot be fixed or repaired or brought back. They're gone. It happened a long time ago. You cannot save them. They're gone. That switch was flipped when they were 9 years old. You cannot save them. Again, Dr. Kirk, he's such a good person. He's a decent human being, but he is not getting it, and he'll never get it, I think. That's why you never take advice from empaths when it comes to narcissists, because they don't fundamentally understand the creature. They don't understand the distortion field. It's so frustrating because he's such a decent person. He really is. But no.
I understand that she's uncomfortable with it. And she even agreed, yeah, I know that you told me that so I could try, so she's even hearing and saying, I agree with you. So are we cresting the hill? Tell me we're cresting the hill.
No, we're not. We're not. I never will.
I told you off camera that
I know, but then
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, here's Jimmy quite correctly saying, I told you off camera. Don't talk about that. But narcissists, they will break your trust. The lack of boundary recognition. HG talks about it all the time. They don't recognize boundaries. This is one of the fundamental, if you're listening to this and if you're an empath, especially, pay attention to this point. They do not recognize personal boundaries. They will violate your trust. They will violate your property. They will violate your bank account. They will violate you in every possible and conceivable way that there is to assert control and to serve their goals and agendas, to serve their means. All right. That is one of the ways that you recognize a narcissist. If they break your trust in any way whatsoever, keep an eye out. If you're friends with somebody and they've broken your trust in some way, start paying attention and studying their modes and patterns of behavior if it fits the narcissistic profile. For more on that, HG Tudor, educate yourself.
I'm sorry, but
There's
No, she's not. That's assertion of control, or the attempt at it.
a level of respect. I introduced you to her. I put her in a situation to be on
and
camera.
I love her.
Yeah.
No, narcissists are incapable of love. They never love anyone. Narcissists do not love. They are incapable. If they're lower level, like Chelsea, they convince themselves that they love people. But in the end, they never do love anybody.
Right.
But by the way, that includes themselves. They don't love themselves either.
So if anyone's a liar and a betrayer, it's her in this moment.
There you go. Like I said, sometimes Dr. Kirk kind of gets it, but not quite. He sees what's wrong, but he doesn't see the big picture of what's wrong. He'll never get the full picture.
They had agreed, it sounds like, that she wouldn't talk about this in front of the camera. We agreed. You weren't going to say it, and it didn't look like she was saying it in a controlled way. It just come bursting out of her.
Exactly, because she's a lower cognitive function narcissist. And again, like I said in a previous video, it's moment to moment to moment to moment. You know, it's about now, now, now. Asserting control now. It's not a long-term plan.
But again, was this woman even at the thing last night? And even if she was, what difference does it make?
But this is
There, Dr. Kirk is asking the correct question. Exactly. Because if Jimmy had a relationship with this woman that, you know, he slept with before, whether it was a relationship or a one-night stand, probably the latter, you know, he's on Love is Blind for a reason. He's obviously not in a relationship with her now. He's obviously not fucking her now. You know, otherwise he wouldn't have been on Love is Blind and he would never have met Chelsea in the first place. But you cannot reason and logic and rationalize with a narcissist because you've got the distortion field in the way, which fucks everything up. You know. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to go on too long, but hopefully you get something out of this. So take care. I'll see you later.